Sure.
and I have to babysit Facebook. So, I'm old, so I have to check up on people. So, yeah, we're live. And we're live in Facebook land. I'm so proud. Like I should be proud of something he accomplished. I'm so proud we have Curtis Cook on the show today. I met Curtis in Portland, Oregon with Hijinks and Courtney Collins's Black Comedy Festival, and I've seen him on stage kill it with smart, edgy, push the envelope kind of humor. And of course, he's killing it on stage because he's also been a writer for Crank Angers, probably more than that too. Let's talk to him. Welcome to the stage, Curtis Cook.
Hello.
Woo! How's it feel to be on stage?
Oh, it's refreshing to finally be back.
Man, it's so nice to see you. I usually, look up to you because I'm in the audience looking up at you. Little pun. Uh, how many years, Curtis, did it take you to get as funny? It looks like to all of us out on the stage is like instant overnight success. But how many years did it take to get that funny, that
Oh,
good?
that's sweet of you to say. I guess I think it's been, I don't know, maybe it's been 10 years now. Wow. Oh,
Wow.
Jesus
Holy tomato.
Christ.
Did you grow up in Portland? Because that's where I found you, but
Oh, no, I grew up in Ohio. I moved to Portland a little after college, just to try something new with some friends. It was a smaller city, and I'd never ridden a public bus before. I grew up kind of in the boonies, so I needed a smaller transition city, and luckily I had a few friends in Portland, and it was able to work out. What about
yes.
yourself? Where are you from?
Born and raised in Portland, Oregon,
Oh, cool.
and grew up in the 50s there. And you used to have to ride the trolley to go downtown to shop, Lyft. My best joke there. So yeah, but I've traveled the world and done comedy, in different places in the country. Where all has your comedy career taken you? Segue, no segue. I don't segue.
Yeah, I guess it's taken me to a few places. I'm in LA now, which has been nice. Gotten to check out a lot more of the country, which is fun. I think the last place I was at before everything shut down, I think I was in New Mexico for a bit, and then went back up to Seattle to see some old friends and do shows. And it's nice to be part of a community that spans the nation, where you can have an excuse to pop over to a spot you wouldn't normally go to.
Yes. Have you been tinkering with Zoom comedy shows?
No, I hate it. I hate them more than I've ever hated anything. But
Yes.
it's fine. It's nice. I didn't mean to be rude. It's lovely to speak to you. But the comedy angle of it is not particularly for me.
Yeah, I've noticed people with a very high level of comedy achievement prefer not to do Zoom. And then you have people at my level that are like, a stage? Yeah, let me at it.
I think it's great. I think it's great that anyone of any level who enjoys themselves with it has an opportunity to still express themselves. It's just not even from a hierarchical standpoint. It just makes me so sad.
So
I can't
sad.
trust it. But I'm glad that others are enjoying it, and I don't at all want to take that from them.
Yes, I want to go back to you. When was the first time you realized you had talent in being funny?
I don't know. I don't know. I might still be waiting on 10 more. I throw a lot more out than is usable right away. I think there's a lot of really talented, really brilliant people that I've been fortunate enough to get to meet and know over the years. But I'm definitely someone who has to put in a little more work than have it come to them naturally. So let's just being honest on that.
You're humble. You always have appeared to be so kind and so humble to people. And um, so, have you just learned it by bumping elbows with people funnier than you at the beginning, or did you take a class, or read books, or study comics? How did you transition from not doing comedy to doing it?
Yeah. Um, I grew up in kind of a rural area, and so I think for a long time all the stories I heard from comedy were people who lucked out. It always seemed like someone got a big break or something happened just right or somebody won a contest. And it was always this kind of glamorized beginning. And so I never even knew about open mics and everything until I was almost out of college. And then there were some folks in Cleveland that ran open mics. And luckily, Cleveland is close to Akron, and Cuyahoga Falls, and Kent. So there's a bunch of small cities surrounding Cleveland, each with their own individual scene. And met enough fun and understanding people who were willing to let some punk kid try comedy in their venues that slowly over the course of time I was able to learn from them and cobble some material together. But yeah, it's like what you said, it's all the kindness of other people. And I think that that's something that's, I think there's a lot of cool aspects of individualism in comedy that appeal to people, but I also think that it is a community, and I'm very thankful to have been a part of the community
Yes.
and I've met people who are as kind as they are. What about you? How did you get started?
Well, I have a daughter, and one day I decided to quit enabling her in about 17 different ways. And so that pulled the plug on that. And I said, I don't want to live without my daughter, but if I could do comedy. So I called the comedy club and they got me in that day. So I'd want to live. Seriously.
That's great.
That was 6 years ago. And I just am starting to find my voice and my persona. So
Hey, that's great. It's so fun to be. I feel like people put so much pressure on themselves that sometimes they forget to enjoy that journey. So I'm glad that you're on it and that you seem happy about it.
yeah. So let's talk about your rise to fame as a comedy writer in LA. Are you one of those grouchy, grow your beard out, stay in your room, and they slip a newspaper under your door kind of guys?
No, I don't think I've quite managed to get to that level yet, but one day maybe that would be great. I mean, I moved down here with my wife because she got into grad school, so I don't want anyone to have any fake ideas about me. I am not some grand success story. It was a lot of luck and good timing, which is true of most people who found success. So I'm thankful to have had that, and I'm thankful that she and her ambitions helped me push myself a little harder and move in a different direction.
Absolutely. If you had any advice to give to people coming up behind you, what would you encourage people to do if they really feel like they're strong writers and aspire to follow in your footsteps? What would you encourage them to do or not do?
Oh, well, I wish I, I wish I had more answers. I'm still figuring a lot of things out myself, so I
That's
definitely don't want to sound like an expert. I would say that one of the best pieces of advice someone gave me pretty early on is just to be nice whenever possible because it's a hard thing to pursue, and not a lot of people get to pursue it or find success in it. And the folks that love it. So you're going to be dealing with the same people for years and years and years. So you don't want to burn any bridges early on. And you just want to be kind and decent to everyone around you because they're all struggling. I'd say on the writing front, one thing that I wish I'd done sooner is, and especially now that people have, well, not everyone, but now that there's a bit more time for some people with COVID, now is a great time to sit down and read some scripts and write a pilot because even if you're most passionate about stand up above all else, people have a difficult time monetizing your stand up, but they have a very easy time monetizing your voice on television. And the faster you can be ready with a pilot, the more ready they'll be able to work with you, and the more they'll have faith in your ability to be um, not just some drunk dude who drives around the country, but a professional they can make money off of. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking too much, Linda. My apologies.
No, you're doing a great job. That's what interview's all about. Me getting you to talk. But when I get done, if I've talked more than 20% of the time, I like go in the bathroom and slap myself silly. not That's not the point of this, but yeah. So, we've had a lot of shit to deal with in this world in the last 3 months. How are you coping? What tips do you have to others? We got two wars we're surviving. we got the whole, we don't have white people woke in America yet, and we got the COVID thing that some people don't even believe exists to those that are dying of it on the East Coast. So, how are you getting through all this, and what would you enlighten us with from your experience?
Oh, I'm the last person to talk about coping. I don't know if I have any healthy coping mechanisms. Um, I'd say that I guess honestly, and I don't mean to be cornball about it, but I'd say probably a similar answer as the last one. Do your best to be kind to people. Do your best to participate in other comics projects because we all have to be supportive of each other now. I want to say it more than ever, but I think it's nice that we're reaching out and remembering that we're a bunch of silly people doing silly things, and that's fun. And I would just, I guess if there's anything that's been helping me cope, it's sitting down and trying new things and new forms of entertainment. I love stand up. I miss it. I think that for a long time that was my coping mechanism, and now that it's gone, I've been a little lost. But this is a great time to experiment with other forms of expression that might be able to benefit you down the line.
Absolutely.
What about you? Is there anything that's come into your life recently outside of stand up that you've felt a special spark or connection to?
I did.
That's great.
Yeah, I sat one night and I really asked myself, what would it feel like to not be white in America, to be a black person? Because I don't think as a white person we do that. We know that. We don't. And so I sat and just pondered what it must be like. And out of that, I came up with one. I mean, I can't solve racism in America, but I can do one thing. And I decided my one passion for the rest of my life is going to be to hit up libraries and let them know what books need to be on the shelves and what books need to be off the shelves, and stay on them until, because my daughter went to Renton High School in Washington, which is 98% black.
Hmm.
And they had my daughter didn't know anything about the rules of dealing with people of color. So she trusted the library where they had a book using the inappropriate way to say the N word. So she learned from the library the incorrect thing to say, not out of hate, but out of, you should be able to trust a library.
Hmm.
But nobody had monitored the library because, to be honest, nobody gave a rip what was in those books. So that's my passion. And be nice to everybody, regardless of color. Has always been, my parents survived the Holocaust. I don't want hate to continue. It sickens me. Hate sickens. If you hate people, I hate you. But if you love everybody, I love you. That's the prejudice I have.
That's a good one to have. I wish more people were like that. And that's awesome about your folks. That's such a unique story and heritage to have. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I wanted to keep it short for you. I started late tonight, and you have things you have to go do. But just to let you off the hook easily, where can we help plug you? Where can we get traffic on the internet for you?
Oh man, that's the hurdle. You can follow me on Twitter at @Curtis_Cook, and you can find me on Instagram at @CurtisCookComedy. What about yourself?
Well, I would love people to subscribe to my YouTube, and that's comedian Linda Marcus Smith. I've interviewed 200. I think you're my 278th. I forget. Yeah, I forget. I'm almost 300, and I've got 95 subscribers. So that's 1 out of 3, which isn't good.
Well, I am thankful to be one of the 278, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and let me be a part of this. This is really nice, and you made me think about things I would have completely ignored otherwise. So thanks.
Awesome. And there's one other thing. Now that you're a graduate of the Comic Spot interview, anytime, Curtis Cook, that you have anything you want to plug, unless it's your butt, that's you're on your own with your wife. If there's anything on the world that you're doing with comedy and comedy writing, hit me up. I'll put you on for 5 minutes to plug it.
Well, thank you. I sincerely appreciate that. Thank you. It really means a lot.
Cool. So thank you so much, and go enjoy some more of that beautiful weather you're having.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Curtis Cook. That's Curtis Cook, you guys. Bye. Love you lots.